Good day everyone, I'm Salwa Azzahra Kurniawan, my student number is 022 and I am from 23A GIC class. My presentation will touch upon the following issues: communication styles, power dynamics, and the last one is cultural context. Then I will propose the solutions to solve those problems supported by the theory of Hofstede's value dimension. So Turning Red is a 2022 animated film produced by Pixar Animation Studios. The movie follows Mei, a 13-year-old Chinese-Canadian girl living in Toronto who discovers that whenever she experiences strong emotions, she transforms into a red panda. This transformation is tied to her family's ancestral connection with the red panda spirit. So the first one, as we can see from the clips, one key intercultural misunderstanding stems from the different communication styles between Mei and her mother, Ming. Mei, influenced by Canadian individualism, expresses her desire for personal freedom indirectly and hesitantly, while Ming, rooted in traditional Chinese collectivism and high power distance, communicates in a direct and authoritative manner. Next up, it's because of the power distance. Ming represents a high power distance culture where parents hold authoritative positions and children are expected to respect and follow their guidance without question. And by growing up in Canada, a low power distance society, Mei is exposed to values that encourage questioning authority and expressing individuality. The second cause is uncertainty avoidance. Ming displays high uncertainty avoidance, a cultural trait that often associated with structure and traditional societies. Ming's insistence on defining Mei's identity according to family values reflect her needs to maintain predictability and order. And Mei, influenced by Canada's low uncertainty avoidance culture, begins to embrace fluidity and ambiguity in her identity. Her love for the boy band and her hesitant verbal expressions reflect her growing willingness to explore personal choices. Next up is power imbalance between Mei and Ming is evident through the film, where Ming's authority initially dominates the relationship. This dynamic is rooted in the high power distance of Chinese culture, while parental authority is respected and rarely challenged. The scene highlights Ming's firm control over Mei's life and decision. Ming's authority manifests in her direct verbal communication and non-verbal cues such as her stern posture. Mei, in contrast, exhibits non-verbal signs of submission by avoiding eye contact. So the climax happening on this clip, which demonstrates a shift in power dynamics. Mei's declaration of independence and Ming's eventual acceptance reflect a movement towards a more egalitarian relationship consistent with Canada's lower power distance values. Next up, the scene serves as a powerful symbol of the cultural duality Mei faces as a Chinese-Canadian teenager. It blends traditional Chinese rituals, such as honoring ancestors, with the multicultural and modern context of Canada. The family participation in these ancestral rituals exemplifies their long-term orientation, which is a key component of many Asian cultures, including Chinese culture. Meanwhile, Mei represents a short-term orientation as she makes the bold choice to keep her panda form, symbolizing her willingness to adapt and embrace change, which is happening on the other scene. And now we know the intercultural issue, communication issue happening in this movie. However, these issues need a solutions to be solved, and I will use Hofstede's value dimensions on my solutions I propose. The first one, instead of assuming Mei's emotion or actions, Mei could practice active listening by asking open-ended questions like, "How do you feel about this?" And this will create a space for Mei to express herself without fear of judgment or misunderstanding, because two-way communication allows both parties to feel heard and understood. Next, for Ming to bridge the gap between her Chinese heritage and Mei's Canadian influences, cultural empathy training could be transformative. This involves understanding and appreciating how Mei's Canadian environment shapes her worldview, emphasizing individuality and freedom of expression. The next solution is bridging power distance, which involves creating a balance between maintaining familial respect and offering autonomy. This approach does not reject traditional family roles but integrates with flexibility and allowing children like me to feel empowered while respecting cultural norms. Next up, Ming could negotiate with Mei instead of outright rejecting her request. For instance, Ming might allow Mei to attend the concert with specific conditions, such as meeting academic goals. Next up, since Mei tends to embrace the indulgence of Canadian, Ming should understand that sometimes she should adapt on that terms, that everything Mei have done is actually for Mei herself. Next up, by integrating lower power distance practices like shared decision making, Ming can foster a healthier parent child dynamic that values dialogue and empowerment. So, to conclude, everyone, Mei and Ming's journey reminds us of the importance of communication, empathy, and balance in bridging generational and cultural divides. So, by embracing both traditions and individuality, they show us that harmonies lie in understanding and mutual respect, which a lesson for all families in a multicultural world. So, another conclusions, like May, we all navigate cultural complexities, but understanding is the key to harmony. So that's my presentations about the analysis of intercultural communication happening in the Turning Red. Thank you everyone for your attention.